Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Haley. Today we are doing a declutter of my blushes. I was going to do blushes and highlights together, but I realized that I have a lot if I do it that way, so I've decided to break it up between blushes and highlighters. I think I have more highlighters than blushes. I don't know how that happened, but I love blushes, so it's gonna be hard to do this video because I know I need to let go of some that I really love. So let's just get into it. Okay, so this is kind of what we're working with here. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 16 blushes here. It's hard because I love blushes and I know I don't want to get rid of most of them. I can say right off the bat, this is my newest blush. It's the Charlotte Tilbury Matte Beauty Blush Wand in Pink Pop. This is really pretty. I have a whole video about this. It's really pretty, not totally matte, but definitely no glitter or anything in it. I've really been liking this for every day, especially in the summer. Like it's really nice. It works well under powders, it works well over powders. So I definitely know I'm gonna keep this one. So I'm gonna put it here on this side. Okay, here's another one I know that I'm keeping. I always have this in my collection. It's one of my favorites. It's the NARS Orgasm Blush. It's just a really pretty pink blush, kind of peachy with gold. And it's not swatching super well in my hand right now. It is getting a little bit old, but not old enough that I'm gonna get rid of it. It's still performing pretty well. I love this one. I wore this blush on my wedding day. It's just really pretty. I feel like it works on a lot of different skin tones and that's why people love it so much. So I'm gonna keep this one. This one is newer to me. It's the NYX Sweet Cheeks Matte Cream Blush. This is in the shade Citrine Rose. It just isn't very easy to blend, to be honest with you. I've tried it a few times. I'm not crazy about the shade, and then just blending it, it feels really soft and creamy, but when I went to blend it, I don't know, it just was kind of patchy, so I'm not reaching for it. I'm just gonna declutter it. This is one that I love. It's one of the more unique blushes in my collection. It's from Charlotte Tilbury. It's their Cheek to Chic blush in Walk of No Shame. It's a really pretty, more like mauve-y kind of blush. And again, it's not swatching super well on my hand, but here we go. It's pretty because it has the blush on the outer perimeter and kind of this like almost highlight in the center, but when you mix it all together, it's a really pretty blush that's looking kind of peachy on the hand, but it can also look very mauve-y too. So I love this one for cooler toned eye looks. I'm definitely going to be keeping this one. Okay, these two my best friend gave to me. They're from the ColourPop Sailor Moon collection. I'm just not using them. They're just way too bright for me, you guys. I mean, it looks really pretty, but when it's on, it's just not quite. I keep using makeup remover wipes on my hands, so that's why these aren't swatching very well. It's just too bright when you use it with a brush. It's just not my really kind of blush. You can see the specks of glitter in it. It's not super finely milled, so gonna get rid of this one. And then this one's even more bright, which is funny because I feel like these are kind of like all the rage but right now, but it's just like kind of patchy, kind of like almost purpley pink kind of tone, just not my shade. So I'm gonna declutter this one as well. This is another one that's newer to me that I'm really loving, kind of similar honestly to the NARS Orgasm. It's a little bit of a lighter pink, but it does have the gold sheen in it as well. It's a little more subtle than that one, but it does give a really pretty sheen. I have been liking it a lot for more like, I don't know, it's actually perfect for summer because it has that just really pretty subtle kind of sheen to it. So I've been loving this. It's from Flower Beauty. It's in their shade Warm Hibiscus. So hibiscus is the Hawaii state flower, so very fitting. I'm going to keep this one. This is probably my all-time favorite blush. It's from MAC. It's their Glow Play blush in Blush Please. This is really old, you guys. This is at least 3 years old. I love it because it's a cream to powder formula. It's still so good though. Like, and I love the shade because it's more of a bronzy kind of blush, a lot more natural. So I love using this for every day, but it's really old. You know, I might continue to use it throughout the summer, kind of like my Bronze Goddess from Estee Lauder. And then, because it feels like I'm almost gonna hit pan on it. So I think that I'm gonna keep this one for the summer, try to use it up. And then once the summer's over, I'll probably declutter and then honestly buy another one. And I've always been wanting to try different shades as well. So this might be the perfect opportunity. So I'm going to keep this for now, but it's definitely on its way out. I shouldn't have a blush for that long, especially one that's cream to powder. This is a Milani one that I'm not really a big fan of. It's in the shade Wild Rose. I Bought this actually for my wedding to be a cooler toned blush because my eyes were super cool toned, but I just didn't love the shade on me. It looks really pretty, but it's just, again, I don't think these bright pink shades are always the most flattering on me specifically. So I just have hardly reached for it. So I'm just going to declutter it. It wasn't even the one I ended up using for my wedding. I ended up using Orgasm, like I told you guys. Okay, this one is newer to me, but I am liking it a lot. It's from Physicians Formula. It's their Butter Believe It blush in Pink Sands, I think. Yeah, Pink Sands. And it's cool because it's again kind of more of a bronzier because it has all these different tones in it. But it's really pretty when you swirl them all together. So a little bit more subtle, but I feel like you can build this one up. So I'm going to keep this one because I have been enjoying it and it is newer to me. It does lift up and there's like a little brush underneath that I've never used, but kind of cool if you were on the go, you could use it. Now I have these two Milani cream blushes. You guys can tell I like Milani a lot. I really like these. These are super pigmented. They last for a really long time. You only need a very little bit, which is why they're lasting so long. I think I've had these about a year. I'm gonna keep them. The packaging is looking a little worse for wear. This is in the shade Cheek Kiss, and this is the more like neutral one. Like I said, super pigmented and pretty. This one is in the shade Merlot Moment, and I love this one because it's just a little more unique, a little bit more mauve-y, really pretty for like fall time. But you can sheer it out a little bit to make it a little more muted, but these are very pigmented. I love these. I'm going to keep them because I do reach for them fairly often. This is another one of my very favorite blushes of all time. It's the Buxom Primer Infused blush in Seychelles. It's their Wanderlust line. You talk about gorgeous bronzy blushes. This one, you guys, but I've hit pan. It's so old. I think this might be the third one I've ever repurchased. It's starting to look a little chalky because it is that primer infused, so I'm sure it's expired by now too. I need to get rid of it, but I do really love it. I would recommend this blush the most high probably of all of them because it's so wearable for every single day. So this one and then the MAC one for sure. I would definitely recommend these the most to you. So love these, but it's time to declutter it. Now I have another Milani. Okay, I just recorded this last bit without actually recording. So sorry about that. I had to keep stopping. Flies keep getting into my house and then they were buzzing around and making noise and I knew you could hear it. So I was like trying to deal with that and forgot to hit record again. So these last few blushes, we have the Milani. This is in Petal Primavera. This is really pretty. It's more of a natural toned blush. It's kind of on the newer side to me. It has a gorgeous sheen and you can build it up. So this one I've really been liking, so I'm going to keep this one. And then this one is the Essence Blush Lighter in Cassis Sunburst. This is actually really pretty. I've talked about this in videos, but I've had it for well over a year. I'm just not reaching for it. I would put this on kind of the higher regions of the face because it has a lot of shimmer in it. I don't know if you'd want this all over the cheeks, maybe you would, but it is really pretty. So if you're interested, I really like the formula. I'm just not reaching for it. I haven't used it that much either, and the packaging broke. So, you know, it's Essence. It's affordable, but they do have really good products. The only place that sells Essence on the island I live on is like 2.5 hours away. So it took me a lot to get this blush, but I just haven't been reaching for it. So I'm going to declutter it. And then last but not least, I'm going to be decluttering this as well. It's the e.l.f. Luminous Putty Blush. I actually really like the formula of this. Same with their bronzers. It's just the shade. The shade's not right for me. If I had a deeper skin tone, this would be really pretty, but it's just a little too orangey on me. But like I said, the formula I really like. You can really build this one up, but I like that it's a little more sheer to begin with because if you want that, you can just leave it. But if you want to build it up, you could do that too. Gives a really pretty like luminosity to the face as well, especially for summertime. So I like the formula. I just want to get a different shade. So I'm going to be decluttering this one as well. Okay, so I'm going to be keeping 9 blushes here, which is great. These are ones I use a lot. I really like them. They're in a constant rotation for me. So this feels good. And then I'm going to be decluttering 7 of them, which also feels good. That way they're not just like taking up space in my collection. It's a good feeling. I'm excited to move on to my highlighter series because you guys, I have a lot of highlighters and I love them and I'm excited to talk about them. So that'll be the next one in my series, probably next week. But for now, I'm very happy with these blushes. If you enjoyed this video, I hope that you will subscribe. And if you're already subscribed, I hope you'll hit the notification bell so you get notified when I upload new videos. And I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day. Love you guys. Bye.